Alrighty, so the rock cycle experiment. I chose to do the one with the crayon where you melt it down. So the first thing I did, I gathered the materials after I watched the video. I got the bowl for ice water, the crayons themselves, the aluminum foil, and then my knife and a pan isn't in the picture, but I did use it. And the first step is I just shredded the crayons up, just like the video said, separated them first, and then I put them on top of each other, and then I folded the aluminum foil right on over them, and then stepped on them for 1 minute, like the video said. And then on the right, you can see the result there. It's like a compact form of all those little pieces. I didn't cut them up the best, but I still think it turned out pretty solid for what I did. And then for the metamorphic one, it's a bit different. We moved to the pan, so I just moved that sedimentary rock that had already been compacted onto the heat in the foil, and then it started to melt. You can see in picture 2, and then in picture 3 it is fully melted and it starts cooling there. And then it didn't actually cool very quickly. I was quite surprised. But then after a while, I got the far right as a result, which created the metamorphic rock. And then finally, um, I got the igneous rock going on. So I took the solid metamorphic rock and put it back on the heat, and then I stirred it up with the little toothpick there. Um, and then I got my bowl of ice water ready, and after um, it had fully melted on the left, um, I just kind of dumped it in the ice bucket, and then you can see it solidified right there, and then it looked kind of funky on the right. The right actually reminded me just of the same as what would happen to lava that comes out of a volcano and solidifies. What worked and what didn't. So I wish I used the pan at the start to compact the little shreddings together instead of my foot. It was kind of just uncomfortable for one, and I don't think I got enough pressure in there to really cement it together as good as it should have been. And I don't think I did it for as long as I probably could have, but I think everything went pretty smooth with the metamorphic stage. No complaints, nothing out the ordinary. And then I think the igneous one was a little bit tricky, picking up um, the aluminum foil and then dumping it into the ice water, but I kind of just shimmied it so it didn't spill. But yeah. So relating these to the real world, the first one is sedimentary rock, and as we did in the experiment, we increased the pressure, which created the compaction of the little materials. Just like the diagram, it shows um, there's like separation, quite um, a little, quite a lot of space right here, and it forces into this one and becomes a compact form, just like the shavings of the crayon that I did. And then I noticed the metamorphic rock has these waves like this, and the crayon had the exact same thing. And I think that's just from like the layering and then the melting and solidifying. And then the igneous, it cooled quickly in the ice bath, so there was quite a bit of ripples. But I don't think there was any bubbles, but um, it cooled very quickly and then left those ripples as it fell into the ice water. How might we able to be, excuse me, how might we be able to iron out the details of the complex process? I think by breaking down the complex concept of, it seems like such a big idea of the rock cycle, how it goes in the diagrams, it goes in so many different directions. Doing something as simple as heating up some crayons and doing this little experiment really puts it into perspective and creates a much easier way to understand the concept. And then relating it to the results to the lecture I found this week. During the lecture, we learned about the different cooling rates. Like in igneous and metamorphic, it has different cooling rates. Um, and then in this experiment, we also implemented those. So, just like the crayons, um, the first one, the metamorphic, slowly cooled, like really slowly. It took probably like 10 minutes. Honestly, I probably might have. I think I left it in the pan. That's probably why it didn't really cool as quickly as it should have. But it got there, and then and then we after that we threw it in the ice bath, which really cooled it quickly. So yeah.